best entertainment on the earth. Tune in for Comics with Perch.
Hey everybody, this is Perch. I'm back again with the legendary Joe Corallo. How are you?
I'm all right, Perch. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just think years from now, there will be YouTubers on here that are doing reviews of Beckstar, the classic from the past. Are you excited about that?
Oh yeah, no, that'll be great. Stuff like that. We might even get YouTubers doing reaction videos to our videos.
There you go. Now, so someday you can always hope for. I'm just handing Mumbles
Hopefully.
material at this point, but
Yeah.
we're off to talk about kind of fun comics you love to read. So I found this one and picked it up and sent you a shot of it. And
Yes.
it is Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, number 68.
Yes.
This comic, incredible, right?
I can't believe how entertaining this comic was.
So this comic, I mean, Jesus, it's 36 pages. It's 12 cents at the time. And the reason I bought it, I have this collection of kind of goofy comic covers, and this one has what looks like a flushed, kind of brainwashed Jimmy Olsen with some kind of crazy hat on. And it basically says, see what happens when Jimmy Olsen wears the helmet of hate. And he's got a gun and he's beaming red kryptonite down on Superman, who has turned red and grown horns.
Yes.
And it's causing him, instead of being strong and good, he's now weak and evil. How can you not pick this comic up?
Right? I would be hard pressed to find someone who wouldn't want to enjoy this comic. And fun fact, that Helmet of Hate story was written by Jerry Siegel.
Yeah. This has got names you recognize doing this stuff. This is a big comic. So, all right. So like a lot of comics at the time, this one actually gives us 3 stories in one comic. It's like an anthology that doesn't suck.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. We get that. We get 2 stories by Leo Dorfman.
Mm-hmm.
And the first story, which we're really going to have a lot of fun talking about, was John Forte, who was he was like the Legion artist before he passed away, and the rest of it is done by, of course, Kurt Swan.
Yeah, Siegel and Swan in one comic. By the way, I picked this up for $9. And it claims to be graded at 8.5. That's got to be a good deal, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, all the like Silver Age DC stuff doesn't go for like half of what Marvel Silver Age stuff goes for so far. The collection, the collector's market's like completely out of whack, and who the hell knows what's worth anything anymore? But
that's true. I have to believe that if DC just published a reprint of maybe 3 of these comics or something, just some like $4, 3 or 4 of these Silver Age comics, they would be the best comic out every month.
Oh yeah, no, and they could. I mean, honestly, they could do that. They could put out. I mean, you could cram 3 of those comics into like a Takabon sized or an Archie Digest sized kind of book, and sell them anywhere, and people would eat this up.
It's one we got to dive into, but I mean, this is hands down the funnest comic I read this month.
Oh my God, yeah, hands down. Particularly this first story.
So tell us, this is. I love the opening here. So, like every normal boy, Jimmy Olsen has a healthy appetite for such popular foods as hamburgers, hot dogs, steaks, and malteds. Sure. But one day, due to a freak accident, the reckless cub reporter develops an abnormal yin for tin cans, steel bolts, iron safes, and copper pipes. And even Superman, the Man of Steel, cannot help Jimmy when he becomes the human metal eater.
It's pretty incredible, and just for the first line that anyone says in this book to be, Jimmy, stop it, you're eating all your trophies, is
I know Superman, but I can't help myself. This one is delicious. It's
Also, why does he have all those trophies?
what are those trophies for? I don't know. He's eating his way through them. So this is obviously a tribute to Matter Eater Lad, right?
Absolutely. I mean, this. Let's see when this came out. 1963. Did we have Matter Eater Lad by 1963? I'm trying to think. Actually, yes. Yeah, we did. So hey.
This is an amazing comic. What I love about this is how quickly we get to the action. So right away, like Jimmy's in here, he's photographing. What the hell is Jimmy photographing actually?
A metal eater. It looks like a weird hippo kind of thing.
This is all part of Superman's zoo in the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah, it's like this weird hippo cow horse thing.
So Jimmy's just photographing this thing, and the cow horse shows up and just breaks out of his cage, scratches him, almost bites Jimmy's hand off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why Superman would put anything in a glass cage like that could just break out of it and
instantly.
with no effort, just one clean breakthrough, and not even going into the horrors of zoos in the early 60s, how they treated those animals.
Well, I love, Superman basically punches the animal because that's what you do with escaped zoo animals. You punch them in the face.
Doesn't look like he's holding back either.
No, he zooms in, actually streaks to his pal's aid with blurring speed and just clocks him.
Yep, whap.
And so Superman saves Jimmy. I like this. I love in this age of comics the throwaway, fairly throwaway dialogue that they put in these books, which is Superman's flying Jimmy back from the Fortress of Solitude, and Jimmy's just talking away. Maybe after my skinflint boss Perry White reads my story of how it feels to be attacked by a metal-eating monster, he'll give me a raise. I love all that we have learned about the characters just through that one panel.
Oh yeah, and for Superman's kind of dismissive response, I wish you luck with him, Jimmy. It's like he's not even paying attention.
It's just Superman's tired. He's been flying all the way back from the Arctic with Jimmy prattling on about some dumb nonsense. At that point, Superman's done. He just wants to get somewhere else.
Oh.
But Jimmy goes to write his story, and this is page 2, and immediately Jimmy starts eating his typewriter.
Yeah, in front of Lois, who goes, "Jimmy, you're eating that typewriter. What's come over you?"
Well, and nobody seems that concerned about it. He's eating his typewriter, and Jimmy's like, "Golly, I didn't know how I got these crazy powers to eat metal, but these Valzate sure taste good. Oh well, I'll bet I never feel this wild urge again."
Yeah, no.
Lois seems like concerned too. She's like, "Yeah, it's fine."
Yeah, and she's like, "If it does, Jimmy, you'd better call Superman."
Yeah.
She's not concerned now. She's not like, "Oh my God, call the hospital. Jimmy just ate a typewriter."
The way people react to all these scenes is just incredible. So Jimmy goes into Perry White's office, and he's continuing to badger about a raise. He basically picks up Perry White's nameplate and just starts eating it. And Perry's reaction is, "Stay out of this office until you stop eating planet property." I just want to picture anyone listening to this. Imagine you're in your workplace and somebody near you just starts eating metal. Would your response be like, "You crazy kid. You must be hungry"? I mean, I just love how nonchalant everyone is.
So nonchalant, he's got no self-control. He starts eating his, watch that he uses to call Superman.
Yeah, he's completely out of control. I love that Superman will be here in no time, and I never noticed before what a tasty-looking watch this is. Oh no, not again.
And for Superman to be like, "Eating metal, eh? I was afraid of that, Jimmy." And it's like, you thought there was a risk of that, and you still just let him go back?
Well, his basic reaction is like, yeah, your wounds become infected. Well, you'll probably be fine after 48 hours. And
Yeah, virus just it's one of those 48-hour
metal
metal
eating
eating
virus.
viruses, followed immediately by Jimmy like being like judgy of this goat not eating the kind of metal he would eat.
Yeah, I like why first of all, why is Jimmy just passing a random junkyard with a stray goat just eating things? And the line is funny. That goat will eat up all the goodies in this junkyard if I don't act fast. And, and Jimmy does act fast. He eats all this metal. The goat is too, and he's like, that stupid goat eats nothing but cans. If you only knew how yummy this old license plate tastes. What?
It sounds like stuff that what was it like Frank Reynolds would say, and It's Always Sunny.
Mm-hmm. I I I love this all. Like, so he's eating his way through the junkyard, and then it's time to go on his date with Lucy. So he goes on the date and recommends a canoe ride instead of a car ride, so he won't be tempted by metal parts. And I like how but she brings him a jelly sandwich, and he discovers that ordinary food revolts him.
Yep.
And here's my favorite. Here's my favorite panel of the whole thing. What does he do?
He's eating a periscope of the submarine, and almost causes what could be an international incident.
Why? So where is he exactly? He's just having a little romantic date canoe on a lake, or I mean, it looks like, and he comes across a submarine with people who immediately open fire and try and kill them both.
Yeah, and and Lucy rightfully is like, "Get me ashore, you metal-eating monster! You're a freak."
But Jimmy proceeds to walk in sorrow after this and comes across a criminal that has been handcuffed to a pole, and decides to, but gets super tempted by the handcuffs and eats them.
Yeah, this after telling the cop's just like, "I got to go get the other criminal. So you watch this guy I handcuffed to make sure he doesn't get away."
This entire sequence of events. So he eats the handcuffs. The criminal gets free. The cop comes out with another criminal. For some reason, Jimmy follows him to the station house. And then the police have the evidence of a pistol and hands it to Jimmy for some reason, who proceeds to eat it.
Yeah, yeah, he eats it. I like that this metal-eating virus apparently also makes him a bottomless pit because he's somehow able to eat all of these things.
This everything here is so. I mean, just the so he's worried. He's been hearing. He heard from Superman it's a virus that's going to escape 40 hours, but he decides to go to a doctor anyway. So he goes to the doctor. The doctor doesn't believe it. He proceeds to eat the doctor's stethoscope. We see in the background that the criminal that he freed from eating the handcuffs is following him and hiding behind a bush, who plans to chloroform Jimmy for some reason.
He's also hiding behind the door into the doctor's office.
And the plan of this criminal is revealed when he actually drugs Jimmy, takes him to the hideout, which reveals both the guy he released and the guy who's now free because he hates the evidence, and convinces him to eat his way through a iron safe so they could get kryptonite.
Yeah, they're getting kryptonite so they can stop Superman.
They then take the Jimmy to their other accomplice who was in the submarine. Like this world is completely connected here.
All of this happens in 8 pages, mind you.
So Jimmy basically is used as bait to get Superman to come to the submarine that he previously ate, but he's hiding kryptonite. And when Superman gets there, Jimmy fears now he's going to betray Superman. And Superman gets there, and then the criminals take off with Superman and Krypto trapped in the sub. I mean, what is this plan exactly? I'll take care of Superman and Mutt. Let's lock the hatch and just wait on deck. Like this is simultaneously a genius criminal mastermind and an extremely lazy one.
Yeah. Also, do we really need Krypto for this one?
I don't know, but Jimmy eats the kryptonite to try and protect Superman. But unfortunately, the kryptonite rays radiate through his stomach. And so the only way to I mean, this is, again, the best dialogues. You have to eat some lead, says Superman. But where can I find lead in this sub? The pipes are made of copper. At this point, if you're a kid reading this, you've got to just wonder what kind of journey you're on, right?
And then Krypto barks, and then he's like, that's it. Why didn't I think of it sooner?
The dog tags are made of lead.
Yeah.
And this allows Superman to regain his strength, break through the sub, and capture the three criminals. And Jimmy writes a story for the Planet that gets printed about how I saved Superman's life. What? This is one of the best Jimmy Olsen Superman stories of all time.
Absolutely. This should be, reprinted constantly.
So that's the first of three stories. The second one is Jimmy is Rich.
Yeah, this one's a little.
That one is fun.
It's a little like by the book kind of thing. It's not as out there, but it's also still chock full of stupidity.
They all are. Jimmy wins money in this and immediately loses his mind.
Yeah, I did the math for the what was it? The sweepstakes. It's basically gave a ticket to win $50,000, which is the equivalent of winning like $470,000 today. However, the way Jimmy's acting, it's as if you won like $10 million.
Well, yeah, it's 50,000 smackers. I'll have clothes, cars, maybe a yacht. I'll get all the things I ever wanted. And of course, this is all a scam because Jimmy helped give testimony that sent somebody from the jail and basically is creating a fake charity raffle ticket scam as revenge. Which
is like these criminals. It's just like,
it's very elaborate.
Like how are we going to get back at Jimmy Olsen? And they lean really heavily on the idea that, well, we can't just kill him because he's Superman's pal. So what are we going to do? We're going to trick him through this elaborate scheme,
which Jimmy plays a part in. So he gets excited, immediately goes to buy a car. Now, what I love about this is that Jimmy goes and finds a car, but they sell it to him for tut. It's only $10,000, a mere trifle for a man of your means, Mr. Olsen. But Olsen's way of paying for it is by saying, I'll be getting the sweepstakes money on the 16th. Meet me in the bank at 2 p.m. and I'll pay you. Is that how buying cars works?
No, I don't. Not from like a reputable dealership.
And he proceeds to go around to everybody, buys 10 suits. And again, meet me at the bank on the 16th and I'll have your money. And he keeps, and meanwhile, the criminals just following him around, laughing at him that he's making an ass out of himself.
It's so weird.
Jimmy goes and buys presents. He gets a lit Cronus kind of smoker, humidor and cigar lighter. He gives Clark Kent, a kind of muscle item, and then he gets Lois a charm bracelet of Superman.
Yes,
these are all weird gifts. But Lois is
weird.
The weirdest.
hers is very weird, and I don't know why. It's like a charm bracelet. It's like you needed to win $50,000 before you could get Lois a charm bracelet.
Of the whole Superman family, including the dog.
Yeah.
So he goes to get Superman a gift, and he's going to basically get a photo. Well, he's taking a photograph of Superman, and he's getting it mounted in gold.
Yeah.
Jimmy, meanwhile, has gotten a hat and cane, and the hat changes in panel to panel to be different.
Yeah, it's a different hat, drawn differently, colored differently in different panels.
So
it magically turns into a green hat. Like okay, because it's the next day.
Yeah, he bought several fancy hats.
Yeah, so he brought different hats and different suits, and yeah, they really committed to the bit there.
So the gift he gives Superman is a gold-mounted scroll with photographic copies of all the famous people who signed the guest book at the Superman Museum. And for some reason, Superman is like, holy shit, this is the best gift I've ever gotten in my life.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get why he would care that much about that.
Well, we got Dwight Eisenhower, and we got, what do we have in it? John F. Kennedy, Bob Hope, Mickey Mantle.
Yeah, and in a few months after this, John Kennedy would be, murdered.
Yeah, it's a valuable collectible then. Now, Superman is like, he's giving the Superman advice is like, hey, you shouldn't spend your money before you have it, but thanks again. And anyway, so Jimmy throws a party and people sing for him, and even Lucy is excited. He gives her a piano. Again, these criminals are hiding out behind ferns, enjoying Jimmy looking like an asshole.
Like, what is with these criminals that are just hiding behind doors and ferns in these comics that are just, ugh.
It's very comical. And this then, ultimately, then the day of the 16th, the criminals deliver a package. And they give Jimmy a note that says, roses are red, violets are blue, a lollipop is a sucker, and so are you. And Jimmy's like, this seems fishy. And the package is full of trick money. And then in one of the best panels, Jimmy just looks like he's suddenly gone from going dapper to looking like he's coming off of meth.
Yeah, his hair is all over the place out of nowhere.
Yeah. And he realizes it's all a fake. Oh no, I'll have to ask my friends to give back those expensive gifts. I'm not sure that works though. If you get somebody to make a custom gold-plated scroll, you can't just kind of give that back.
You absolutely cannot. No.
Meanwhile, Jimmy's friends are also being complete, dicks. Where Perry is going, this cigar gift is the best gift I've ever had. I don't know what I'd ever do without it. And Lois is like, if I ever lost my charm bracelet, I would die. Even Clark is like, look how strong I'm getting with this. Jimmy's getting just guilt-ridden. And then all the people show up at the bank to collect their money. And Jimmy has to explain. And they immediately look like they're going to go to mob violence.
They literally break through the middle of the door like Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
That's right,
trying to get to Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy and the criminals again are kind of watching, chuckling from a distance, but I do love they break down his door and then they proceed to take all of his shit. They just
like lamps, books, chairs, paintings, everything he's got, tennis racket.
The guy who sold him the $10,000 car is walking out of his apartment with a tennis racket and a bowling ball.
Yeah.
And his clothes.
Yeah, no, they're taking his suits, everything. And they're like, you still owe us $5,000 for the things you can't return. Either you agree to pay it out by the week or we'll slap you in the clink.
Yeah.
Which I thought we didn't have debtors' prisons anymore, but
Well, I love that. Jimmy is a penniless beggar now, and he He's disgraced. A dejected Jimmy heads toward the Metropolis Railroad Terminal. I'm not sure what he's going to get a job in another town.
Yeah.
He has no money or train fare, and he comes across a Jimmy Olsen fan club, which just looks like a piece of crap building. But oh man, I love this. My fans, I just remembered about them. I could have built them a new club. Well, I thought I was rich, but I forgot about them. Well, let's see if they'll give me $10. So Jimmy begins to ask these kids for $10.
Yeah, no, he ends up getting bailed out by children.
Yeah, and they do. He basically learns that the $10 they used to buy raffle tickets, but they won second prize, and second prize is $10,000. Now, how is it that Jimmy? Well, anyway, so Jimmy got swindled by this, but the kids won $10,000. They then give the $10,000 to Jimmy that pays off his creditors, and then they also rebuild the clubhouse with $5,000 into a multi-story building.
You know, your dollar went further in 1963, I guess.
Why are they? And then they carry Jimmy around like an idiot.
Yeah. You would think those kids would have maybe invested that $5,000 into comics and candy or something.
Yeah, you'd think that.
Also, why is there a Jimmy Olsen fan club? It's like Superman's cool, but you know we're not cool enough to be part of the Superman fan club. So
yeah, when you have to set your sights lower. I mean, look at some of these kids look fat and homely.
Yeah, no, these are not like grade A children.
Well, and the story ends with the two criminals like, oh man, how can we beat a guy who's got so many friends? I like how the criminals this time who went to prison for several years on Jimmy's testimony, they don't think I'll just kill him. They want to embarrass him and then give up when he has too many friends.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, what's the use, you know? Well, they basically give up. It sounds like, you know, I don't know, want to go for a drink, just relax.
I love the ride that this comic is. Okay, so this brings us to our third and final story. You're listening to the video going, we're 27 minutes in, and there's another story? Yeah, we're still getting to the story that's on the cover. The story of Jimmy Olsen almost paid. I mean, how much comic can you possibly get for 12 cents?
Right?
I love it.
It's so much. You know, we're gonna skip the letters column, but so there's even more here you can check out.
There's so much more. So Jimmy Olsen. So I mean, once again, this story is balls out crazy. So we do get a weird. Superman is in the Jimmy Olsen room in the Superman's Arctic Fortress, which contains. Is this what is the word for this kind of storytelling? This isn't woke or anti-woke. What is this? This is yeah, we're gonna have to figure this out because also Superman's jumping the gun here by putting a wax figure of Lucy Lane in here because he might marry her someday. Like he is some like, you know, someone's like crazy mom who just wants them to get married already. Why is Superman so invested in Jimmy Olsen that he's got wax dummies of all the different forms Jimmy has taken and is setting a hopeful future wife in there?
Yeah, right? And it's, oh my God. I hope like, you know, he doesn't bring Lucy Lane to the Jimmy Olsen room and her to see that. That wouldn't go over well.
That would be creepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Superman gets called away to a broadcast from Kandor, and they sighted a flying saucer manned by members of Brainiac's gang. And this is the time when Brainiac had a gang that looked kind of like Brainiac.
Yep. They just look like Brainiac because I don't know, maybe they didn't have the budget to bring Brainiac back in the comics, so we're just gonna have a couple of Brainiac knockoffs.
Brainiac gang. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Kandorians are like, come on, we need to get out here, and we want to do, even though we're tiny, we'll be powerful. So let us at him. But Superman's like, no, you hang out there. I'll handle this. But Superman, realized that they've got a force shield, which makes it impossible for him to get into the flying saucer. So Superman tries a couple times, and it's like, all right, I'll just fly back to Earth.
Yeah, he gives up pretty quick, goes back.
The
Sure.
Superman did not have a lot of determination in these comics, and he's watched by the members of the Brainiac gang, Boz and Grum.
Yeah.
So
All the kids' favorites. Remember all of the fun stories that we read as kids about Boz and Grum?
well, Superman flies back. He is. I like this. He's facing a imminent threat from the Brainiac gang. And he flies back to Earth and happens to come across Jimmy Olsen and the members of the Jimmy Olsen fan club, to which Superman has apparently promised a feat. And Superman's like, I'm very busy, but I guess I'll promise you to do a feat. And his feat is that he just snaps one of the pieces off the anchor of a boat and then flies away.
Now, you're going to think we're insane, but keep a special, keep your eye on that panel, because that's actually a setup with a payoff later.
Yes, it is. Foreshadowing.
Yeah, I don't know why, but sure.
So Superman, Jimmy then takes the Jimmy Olsen fan club to the Superman Museum, where he wants to borrow the imitation hate helmet and red K ray gun to write an article. Now, I don't know why he needs to do this, but he basically borrows the thing. He asks to get his picture taken by Perry White. And Perry White, being a classic case of toxic masculinity, urges Lois to get in the picture because it always helps to have a pretty girl in the picture.
Yeah,
But,
I mean,
yeah, I mean,
it's
no lies.
Sure. I don't know who it helps, because I don't really know why they're even okay, yeah, it's an article, but she's not writing the article. Why would she be in the picture?
Sure, but she's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jimmy puts on the helmet of hate, and even though it's meant to be an imitation, they figure he must have gotten mixed up, because Jimmy immediately starts yelling out, "I hate Superman! I hate Superman!"
Yeah, well, I guess like the helmet of hate, like, I don't know why it would make you immediately start yelling that you hate things. You'd think you would just think those things. Sure, it's fine.
Well, Jimmy proceeds to just kind of run around screaming into the air like a user on Twitter. And
yes,
he shoves down Perry. Keep your mitts to yourself, you fat, big-mouthed idiot. No one's going to stop me from ruining Superman's career. And
it's a bit more polite than Twitter, but yeah.
A little bit more polite today. He hasn't had it on for long. But he says, remove the helmet, Jimmy, please. It's making you hate everybody.
Delete the app, Jimmy. It's making you hate everybody.
Just what is Jack Dorsey doing to you? Anyway, so meanwhile, the Brainiac gang is watching on with interest. And what I also like about this is they're watching the action on their flying saucer, but they don't have any volume. But they need to explain this to the readers. So they say, this promises to become most interesting. Our lip reading ability is coming in handy.
I feel like they could have gotten away with people assuming they had audio on the ship.
This is comedy gold. So Jimmy fires the red kryptonite gun at Superman, and then the cloud drifted between them and the scene, blocking the view of the super telescope. And they immediately discover what has happened. By the 7 moons of Shatlar, Superman has suffered a terrible fate, which is he's grown horns like the devil and turned red.
Yes.
And Superman immediately decides to use his powers for super evil. And his powers as super evil is to proposition Perry White to endorse Rimson, the racketeer, for mayor. That's the evilest scheme he can come up with.
Yeah, the evilest thing Superman can do now that he's a devil is to get a newspaper to endorse a corrupt politician. Must be a day that ends in Y.
It's like they're talking to Bezos. So this is very contemporary. We've got Twitter, we've got the Washington Post. It's all the pieces are here. I also love that Superman's like, "You're going to do this, and I'll make you rich," and Perry White's like, "The temptation is too great. Fuck it, yeah, all right." I mean, he seems very happy just to say, "I'll endorse this guy."
But I feel like the way it's done, it's like Superman doesn't have the power to actually tempt anyone. Perry's just like, sounds like a deal.
and I love this image of Jimmy, they've actually drawn him throwing his head back and laughing. Ha ha ha. When the public learns how Superman corrupted Perry by offering him money, they'll hate him as much as I do.
Yeah, and oddly enough, Lois has nothing to say.
Yeah, well, she knows her place.
She's oddly quiet, other than saying the helmet's making you hate everyone.
Yeah, well, like what Twitter does to women.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm reaching at this point. So Superman, some time passes. They get this newspaper out saying that a vote for Tom Rimson is a vote for honest government, and Superman shows up to this racketeer, and he's actually changed into a devil's uniform. So you might as well.
Yes. Yep. He's wearing a devil's costume.
He gets the racketeer to sign this with the deal that I'll make you the kingpins of crime, but when you die, your souls belong to me. Superman's really getting into this.
Yeah, and the guy, like, no press, gladly.
Yeah, like, kingpin of crime, no problem.
Yeah, with one of the best lines in this particular story from Lois now speaking again. They're signing a contract just like Satan's victims do.
Well, she would know. She married one once, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
She eventually did go on to marry a Satan.
The evil he's doing today will haunt Superman forever. Ha ha. So the comic continues to get batshit crazy. He crushes rocks and then thinks about other evil things he will do. So he now is going to fly up to Brainiac's gang to see how they can make Earth suffer. And he's like, "Hey, we'll basically shrink Metropolis, and I promise not to battle you." So I like how the gang member's like, "This may be a trick." No, it's not a trick. He promised.
and they're such like one-trick ponies. Like all they want to do is shrink things.
It's there's something in there. So they basically fly onto the ship. And they say, "Here you go. The button awaits your super satanic majesty. Ha ha, press it." And just as Superman's about to press the button, his horns break open and outfly tiny little Supermen. Who immediately start trashing everything.
Yeah, they really destroy everything. Very quickly.
I like how it's like, "You broke your word, Superman." It's like, "No, I didn't. They're battling you, not me."
Yeah, it's like, cool. Don't help at all now, Superman. Like,
So then we get back to the scene that they foreshadowed earlier. Superman explains, "You've been hoaxed. After I learned you weren't armed with a fearful new weapon, I signaled Jimmy to execute Plan J by snapping off the piece of the anchor forming the letter J." Yes. And this refers to when he used Plan L in Lois Lane 29 and Plan P in Action Comics 295. So it's a callback.
Yeah, no, that's It's
So
God.
in the, I mean, God, this is insane. So basically, this created this entire scheme of the hate ray and the hate helmet and everything else. And when there was that brief cloud of smoke, Superman actually bored a hole underground all the way to his fortress, put on some red paint and horns, put Kandor people in Superman costumes, hid them into the horns, and then proceeded to be an asshole for a day.
Yeah, and then the way they finally deal with these Brainiac gang members is to have the Kandorians shrink them down.
And where do what are the Kandorians going to do in there? I have to imagine prison and rape.
I was going to think public execution,
Yeah, that's probably.
but yeah, and then they get added to the Hall of Villains because Superman can't resist making wax figures of people.
Superman has an entire Madame Tussauds, museum in his Fortress of Solitude at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty ludicrous.
It's but that's how our comic ended with Jimmy. Haha! To think the idiots believed anything could make me hate you, the best pal anyone ever had.
Yeah, it's sure, Jimmy.
I love this comic just so much. I mean, when again, it was funny, it was bizarre, it gave a huge amount of story. I mean, we spent 41 minutes now talking about a Jimmy Olsen comic.
Yes.
When was the last time you've spent 41 minutes talking about any comic made in the last 5 years? I mean,
Oh God, it's rare. Certainly for like big two stuff, that gets rare. But also, like, keep in mind at this point, the same month this came out was like Fantastic Four 13, where they were fighting the Red Ghost and his stupid apes.
yeah.
So but it's like, yeah, there was like Spider-Man existed already. Like there was some stuff going on at like Marvel that they were really building up these more, they're still campy, but like comics that are taken a little more seriously. And meanwhile, this nonsense is going on and is selling more than Marvel at the time. So
it's absolutely insane. I mean, this comic had all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, the issue that came before this had the cabinet from Krypton, where Jimmy Olsen gets turned into an old man and Perry White gets turned into a toddler. And like Jimmy is always going on these insane adventures. Sometimes, racist. There was one where Jimmy, put on red paint and pretended he was an Indian. But there's like lots of crazy shit that was going on here. No, it's absolutely amazing. Lois turned into a woman with a cat head. Years.
Well, I mean, that's
A.K. Rowling would do it in Harry Potter.
Oh God.
Anyway. Well, I don't know what crazy nonsense. Joe, what comic should we look at next? What do you think?
Oh geez, there are so many good ones. We might have to go to maybe one of the Supergirl appearances, because that's great. I love Linda Lee Danvers with the brunette wig and her robot duplicate in a tree, and Streaky the cat, like all that stuff. It's great. One of those stories I'd love to do.
Classic. Well, it beats reading Spider-Man and finding out that Mary Jane has kids, right?
Yeah.
No spoilers.
Yeah. Well, it just goes to show you everything sucks.
And Mary Jane is a whore.
Yeah, well, we do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.